This is 7.5 of geometry. Okay, so we've got a couple of theorems. The first is our side splitter theorem, 7.4. So it says if RS is parallel to XY, then this over this is equal to this over this. Just a little mention about this. They give the proof of this theorem. If we look at our picture here, with these two parallel lines and this as a transversal, these two angles are corresponding angles. So we know that those are congruent, right? And here's another transversal. So these two are also corresponding angles and are congruent. So that would give us that in this little triangle and in the big one, the whole thing, we have two pairs of angles that are congruent, which means that these triangles are similar using the AA similarity. And then we'd go into more about why the sides are proportional. But let's actually use that theorem. So we're going to do the bottom one down here. So remember, we said this over this is equal to this over this. Doesn't matter which one you could do. You can stick, right? So we said A plus 4 over A is equal to 18 over 12. Remember, you can flip both of those, right? So you could have A over A plus 4 equals 12 over 18. That would also work. And so we're going to, I'll write it down here so we can actually use it and cross multiply. So 18 times A, that's 18A, equals 12 times, and you need parentheses, A plus 4, because we need to multiply to both of those things. So 18A is equal to 12A plus 48. I will subtract 12A from both sides. So we get that 6A is equal to 48. And then divide both sides by 6. Oops, and we get that A is equal to 8. It's supposed to say A. So A equals 8. Okay, another theorem, the corollary to side splitter theorem. It looks pretty similar, it's just it's not a full triangle now. We've got 3 parallel lines. So this says that this over this equals this over this, right? Proportional. Basically the same kind of thing, right? This side over this side equals this side over this side. So let's try using it here. So we're going to have to use it twice, right? I can use these two and these two, and then I can do it again using these two and these two. So I'm going to call this x. So we get 7.2 over x equals 8 over 6.4. And then we're going to cross multiply. 7.2 times 6.4 is 46.08. And that equals 8x, right? 8 times x. When we divide both sides by 8, we get that x is equal to 5.76. And so site C there is 5.76 yards. And then I'm going to do the other one using these two and these two. So let's call that y. So 9 over 7.2 equals y over 8. 9 times 8, that's 72. And y times 7.2, that's 7.2y. Then I'll divide by 7.2. And I get that y is 10, so 10 yards. One last theorem here, the triangle angle bisector theorem, or just theorem 7.5. So, AD bisects the angle CAB, right? So that's marked up here. Then we know that, and this one looks a little different in the sides that we're choosing. This over this equals this over this. I'll show that again. This over this equals this over this. So bottom over bottom equals side over side. So let's try that down here. 9.6 over 16, right, bottom over bottom, equals y, and make sure you're using the same triangle, right? That triangle's on the top, the other one's on the bottom. So y over 24, and then we're going to cross multiply. So 24 times 9.6, That's 230.4 equals 16y. When we divide both sides by 16, we get that y is equal to 14.4. And there's your homework.